Hi there, Chad Wilson here again with you, and in this video we are going to talk about why you should have bank accounts in the first place. What is the reason that you might want to open one of those accounts rather than just keep cash and do business with cash? All right. Reason number one, it is safer to put your money in a bank. That's actually the reason that banks were started years and years and years ago, even in ancient societies that used gold or silver or other precious metals as their money. There were places that opened to try to keep that money safe. In other civilizations, they didn't have the kind of safety that we have. Someone could break in and steal what they had very easily. We're blessed to be in a part of the world and in a culture where that's a much lower risk, but it's still a risk. And so having your money in the bank rather than under your mattress or in your freezer or buried in your backyard, it's just a safer place to put your money. Now, something that even makes it safer is the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. That's what FDIC stands for. You've probably heard of FDIC. And the FDIC guarantees your money up to $250,000 per account type that you have. Now, that's a really great guarantee. You know, the FDIC didn't come into existence until the Great Depression. Back in 1929, you saw the stock market plummet and people make what we call runs on banks. That means that everybody came to the bank to get their money out at the same time. And that caused many banks to fail because they didn't have enough money in the vault or in available cash to be able to give those people when they came in. So the FDIC started up and said, hey, we want deposit holders to have confidence that the federal government is going to stand behind their money in the bank up to a certain limit. That limit has been changed over the years. It used to be $100,000. Now it's $250,000. So if you have a bank failure today, and we did last year, we had a bank in California called Silicon Valley Bank, and they failed. That bank, there was a run on that bank where everybody came at the same time to get their money out because of some other concerns about the bank. And the FDIC made whole everyone who had less than $250,000 per account type. Do you know that since the founding of the FDIC, not a single deposit holder has lost a dime if they were under those FDIC insured limits? So that makes it even safer for you to put your money in a bank. So again, reason number one to have a bank account is it's a safer place to put your money. Second reason to have a bank account is it's easier to track your money. If you've got, let's say, $100 in cash and you are going through your normal routine for the week, you might have to ask yourself, now how much did I spend when I picked up that Pepsi at the gas station while I was fueling up? Oh, and how many dollars did I put in my car when I was fueling up? Oh, and I went by Chick-fil-A on my way. How much did I spend on that meal? It's hard to track. You'd have to keep up with all your receipts, and even then, if you had your receipts, you'd have to look through them, and it would take a lot of time to figure out where did all my money go. But when you have a bank account, you can see that. A bank account actually gives you an account of all of your spending and all of the money that has come in. You can look through your online banking or your mobile app on your phone and see, oh yeah, that's right, I spent $10 at Chick-fil-A. I put $20 of gas in my car. I got a $2.50 Pepsi while I was at the gas station. You can see it right there. You know exactly what you've spent, and you know how much you get paid because your payroll is probably coming through your bank account. I'll make another comment on payroll here in just a minute. So it's just easier to keep up with how much you are spending, how much you have. You don't have to sit there and count out cash and change. You know how much you have, how much you spent, and how much has come into the account. A third reason that it makes sense to have a bank account is it makes it easier to do business with other people. Now, people will take cash, but there are other things that you can do with the bank account to pay people. The first of those ways is through the use of a debit card. All right. You all probably know what a credit card is. Well, a debit card is a little different because it is tied to your bank account and it pulls money out of the account when you use the debit card. In certain instances, if you choose not to, the debit card will not authorize a transaction if the money's not in the account. So there's a little bit of self-discipline that is imposed on a debit card if you can't overdraw your account. It keeps you from spending money you don't have, which a credit card won't do. And we'll talk about that next week when we talk about borrowing and when we talk about credit. So that debit card is an easy way to make payments. If you want to go through Chick-fil-A, you can use your debit card. If you want to buy something on Amazon, you can load your debit card in and use it there. If you want to order a pizza over the phone, you can give them your debit card number and pay for it that way. Just about anybody will accept a debit card. So that's an easy way to pay for things with your account. You can also use checks with a bank account. Now, a lot of people don't write checks anymore, but some still do. We still get a lot of checks in at the bank every day from people who are paying one another with a check. Say somebody mowed your yard for you and you want to write them a check that just says paid to Smith's Landscaping for however much they helped you out with. That's another way that you can make payments if you have a bank account. I want to talk about a third way, which is electronic payments. Did you know that you can take your debit card, you can load it into an app like Apple Pay or Android Pay, and you can actually pay for your service or product with your phone. I do this all the time. Actually, when I go through Chick-fil-A, I will double click on the side. It verifies that it's me with Face ID, and then I can use my phone to pay for my meal at Chick-fil-A. And one of the things that actually makes that method even safer than just a debit card or just a check is it masks your number and actually passes a different debit card number to Chick-fil-A. Y'all probably read sometimes or hear about these data breaches where credit card numbers or debit card numbers are stolen in a data breach. Well, if that were to happen to Chick-fil-A, they would have a different number than what's on your debit card. And so it helps protect your bank account against fraud, against somebody using your bank account without you knowing. So we would call that electronic payments or RFID payments, which is radio frequency ID. That's what works when you load a debit card onto your phone and use Apple Pay or Android Pay. So that's a third way that it makes it easier to pay for things. And if you want just good old cash anyway, having a bank account doesn't mean that you can't have cash anymore. You can go buy an ATM machine, or you can come in the bank and get some cash if you just want to have some cash on you. So all of those are ways that it makes it easier to do business, which was the second reason for having a bank account in the first place. All right, the third and final reason that I think it's wise to have a bank account is it makes it easier for people to pay you. All right, if you're working for somebody, normally they're probably not writing you a check. Now, some businesses are still doing that, but a lot of businesses will send you those payments for work electronically, and they will want you to have a bank account. So if you're in the market for a job, one of the things you could do is open a bank account before you find a job, so that when they ask you, hey, what is your account information, you don't have to scramble and get an account set up. You'll already have one. You can give them your account information so they can then send that money to you electronically. And as I was saying, when you pull up internet banking or when you pull up your banking app, you'll be able to see that money coming in from your employer. So it doesn't just make it easy for people to pay you, for you to pay them, but it also makes it easier for them to pay you. Okay, so quick review on the three reasons why it's wise to have a bank account. First of all, it makes managing your money safer. Number two, it makes managing your money easier to track. And number three, it makes it easier for you to do business with others.